This whole thing is fairly interesting because it really shows that there are two different sets of values on play. This is all in relation to what Roland said in regards to individuals who are speaking about their race in Texas.
The sit your ass down people are all the people who are trashing Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett who can't even spell Tallarico. Now, let me be clear. I went down to Austin, Texas, when they had that voucher scam bill.
Yes.
And I did a video with Representative Tallarico. Okay? So I like Tallarico. I know my house is in her district. But what's killing me are the people who are trashing her, touting him, and they never mention his name before she got into the race.
Don't even know who he is.
Don't know who he is, don't know any policies. So I need all over to sit their ass down. Because
So effectively, he goes on to basically talk about statistics, and he lives in Texas, so he knows more about the voter population there and where the weaknesses are in the Democratic Party, and that's all that he's doing. But this is what they said in response to him. My videos on this race have more views than your media company. Now, Roland is very much a pro-black individual. For those of you who are black, most likely you know him. He is a stalwart inside the community and a trusted voice, and he is very keen on black people owning their own voices, owning their media, newspapers, and he's correct in that response. But in this instance, he says, Keith Edwards, my videos on this race have more views than your media company. Maybe find some humility. It tells you these are Keith Edwards' values. He's speaking about a man who has been a stalwart in this community for literally decades. Roland Martin is a walking encyclopedia when it comes to knowledge, not just about black history in America, black history in the diaspora, and American history just in general. Most of us, even those even my younger self, I know who Roland Martin is. Even though I didn't listen to him often, I know who Roland Martin is. But in their minds, because he's small and he doesn't get the numbers and he doesn't get the same level of clout, he should not be valued. Same thing, Adam Cochran. All right, if we're going to make weird posts appealing to metrics, I've got single tweets and single YouTube videos that have done more impressions than all his 2,000 podcast episodes combined. But just like he didn't take the time to actually figure out my stance before assuming it must be racist, he also didn't look into any of that before making dumb appeals. At no point that I can recall did Roland Martin say anything about them being racist. He simply said that they don't know anything about Texas. They don't know anything about the metrics. They don't know anything about the voter population there as much as he do. And they don't. But let's keep going, because he actually responded. Because candidly, Tiff basically said Roland never labeled Adam Cochran in this case. He simply said he was uninformed. So he responds to this. Actually, Roland Martin multiple times put words in my mouth claiming that I only think a white moderate can win Texas or that I don't support black women. And he says that. You idiots have been saying that a white moderate is the only thing that can win Texas. That is identity politics. So let's look at his evidence for it, right? I repeatedly said I discussed the issues and platforms of the candidates, or the fact that, let's go through it. Tallarico overperforms with swing voters and has flipped red districts previously. Okay. General polling puts Tallarico ahead of Republicans in the state. Tallarico has a progressive platform and detailed issues on his site. Crockett has no issues section or platform at all on her site. Again, I've already addressed this. Tallarico just put his issues page up like a couple weeks ago, in the second week of January, and he was in a race for a lot longer than Jasmine Crockett. He was in a race for 4 or 5 months before Jasmine Crockett got into the race. Jasmine Crockett has been there a total of 2 months. So her not having an issues page in a Democratic primary to me is not that big of a deal, but for them, it's somehow very telling, despite the fact they don't even know the timeline. Again, I don't even live in Texas, and I've been paying attention to this more than they have, and I know more of the timeline than these people do, but because they do bigger numbers, they think they have more credibility. And the other thing that's fascinating is he keeps talking about swing voters, flipping red districts, and the Republican Party, but you don't tout that as moderate. What are we really talking about? When he talks about white moderates, Tallarico is a white man, and you're hyper-focused on the fact that he can somehow, you think in your mind, change those red districts into blue districts or purple districts. And if that is not the definition of a moderate, what are you talking about? He can have as progressive a platform as you want. But when you are trying to cater to a group of individuals who have been stalwart supporters of the Republican parties, who have been anti-progressive for literally decades to the point that they literally installed a fascist, in order for you to flip those districts, you have to make concessions on your progressivism. I'm sorry. I don't what are y'all not getting? What are they not understanding here? So yes, you do think a white moderate is needed. I don't care what his progressive platform is. If you want to flip those districts, as y'all are so hyper-focused on, you are going to have to make concessions on your progressivism. That is just the truth.